Hello, everybody. It's Marianne Bailey with livecommunity.online. Today, we are here with Christina and Cindy from abccorner.com, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves and tell you a little bit about what they do. And we're just going to talk really briefly about what Live Community is and how it can help you. And then we're going to move straight into learning more about hand arthritis and the products that can help you or a loved one be able to do different things more effectively. Cindy, Christina, it's all yours.
My name is Cindy. I'm a physical therapist and I've been practicing for about 30 years. Majority of my time has been spent in the home health realm, mainly working with the geriatric population. And I'm Christina. I'm a speech therapist, and the majority of my career, about 25 years, has been spent in care and also working with the geriatric population. So part of what we do at Adaptive Equipment Corner is some of what you're going to see today. We work a lot with products. We have a lot of products that companies send us, and we take a look at them. We review them. We actually use them so that we can see if they are beneficial to our viewers. And then we make a YouTube video, put that out there as well. I'm going to tell them a little bit about the second part of our business. Yeah. So what we also do is we do presentations mostly for our local area, because it's in person. But then in September is Fall Awareness Month or Fall Prevention Month. And so what we started doing last year is when we get these products from companies, we put them in our minivan and we drive to a certain location. And as we go along, we've been stopping at senior centers along the way, doing a presentation about what it looks like to be functionally independent, to keep moving as we age. And then we give them the opportunity to look at the products that we brought with us, engage with the products, ask us questions as healthcare professionals, and see what might be right for their specific situations. They can engage with it before they buy it, or maybe they don't have to buy it at all. But we've loaded all up in the minivan. Last year, we went all the way to the East Coast, to New Jersey, to the Jersey Shore. We drove all the way there until we couldn't drive anymore. We hit the ocean, turned around, came back, and did the same thing. This year, we're going to Florida. So we're going to be leaving in September and heading down to the Tampa Bay area. And we're going to be doing the same thing where we just stop at senior centers along the way and doing our thing there and turn around and coming home. So I do a lot of education for caregivers and for individuals who are trying to age in place. We know how important that is to people, and everybody wants to stay in their home as long as they can. And we try to train on things like, what is it going to look like? What is your function going to look like as you age? And even though it looks different, you can still maintain a degree of independence depending on how you're doing and what you're using. And a lot of times products come into play when you try to maintain your function, whether it be with dressing or bathing or things like that. So that's a lot of the education that we do. We do provide a lot of education for caregivers. We have a subscription for caregivers. We have up to over 200 videos in our library for that. And that is also available at aecorner.com as well. But today we are excited. We're gonna put it back to you, Marianne, for a second before we start talking about our products, because we certainly want to hear what you've got going on for your community.
It's been really exciting. We're about a week and a half into, because today is Wednesday, correct? We're a week and a half into Live Community. And what Live Community is, they call it an online off social media platform where we invite each and every one of you guys to join us for different classes like this, learning about different products. Friday, we're going to have a fun class of wine tasting. We're going to allow people to know exactly in advance what kind of wine we're going to be tasting and allow some interaction with that as well. Different stuff like yoga. And we do, Betty Pettit does a live with Betty thing every week that we're doing that. We go live and talk to her, just all different kinds of stuff. Jessica Cannon comes on, talks about gut health and importance for that. And I'm inviting people, like, if you want to be part of it or someone who does, to certainly message me and Marianne at thehipsenior.com, the other part of my platform, and just be, hey, let's do this. Let's look, can I come do this? So I definitely want seniors to be part of this platform in that aspect as well. But just coming in and keeping their neurons firing, right? Keeping your brain active, learning new things, being interactive with other people every day from 2 to 4 p.m. I have an open chat room where I invite people just to come hang out and chat. If you're lonesome, bored, you're fighting depression, whatever the case may be, and you want to be around other people and that's not available to you, come hang out with us. It's all good. You might want to just sit there and knit while people talk. Just lurk. It's okay. This is one place where lurking is encouraged. You're allowed to do that. I want people just to enjoy themselves and to come in and, like I said, learn about new items, new products, new functions. Earlier, we were talking, and guess what? The really cool part about that, it's only $5 a month. $5 a month. And I was saying earlier that I can't even compare it to anything because nothing is $5 a month these days. But Live Community is. So again, it's www.livecommunity.online. Right there on the front page, it gives you the reasons why you should join. It gives you the sign up thing. You just sign up and you can either pay $50 a year, so it's less than $5 a month, or it's $5 a month and that just charges your credit card. You don't even have to think twice about it. And everything is secure and everything is monitored. So you're not going to have mean people in the chat room. You're not going to have spammers. You're not going to have all that stuff. I'm going to be right there with you. So being part of the community and staying safe is top priority where I am involved with this. And it's my personal mission to do this, keeping everybody safe and keeping their brains working and being engaged helps all kinds of body functions.
Exactly.
All right, back over to you guys.
All right. So today we were talking a little bit about the fact of we're talking about hand arthritis, but what we also want to point out is it doesn't necessarily, some people think arthritis, then they think pain, they think possibly weakness. You may have weakness from something else. And Christine, I don't know if you've noticed, but I know that as I'm aging and my grip strength is declining.
And just the texture and being able to grasp things.
Right.
Is not as easy anymore.
This can apply to just about anybody. So what we're going to do here is go over a lot of things that are involved in the kitchen because we have a lot of different things that we hear from people all the time.
Yeah.
Asking about, oh, I'm having trouble opening this jar or opening this type of product. So we've tried to take a look at some and we're going to go over those today.
Yeah. So even besides the arthritis, which is the first thing that came to my mind when we started showing these products, we got people that had the hypermobility and just opening a jar could dislocate a joint because their joints are too hypermobile and it can be very painful. And so besides arthritis, we're talking about weak grip for whatever reason. Foot tremors, maybe people that have essential tremors, and then people that might have some kind of a hypermobility.
Absolutely. So let's start
on top of like different disabilities too, right?
Absolutely. This can go across the gamut. I'm sitting here thinking about even if they've had a stroke or something like that, that results in weakness, that there's still enough function, but there may be some weakness, especially of a dominant hand. Yeah, they can be across many diagnoses.
Yeah. Fibromyalgia, something that people are fatigued and they're just secondary issue is weakness caused in their hands, especially in the kitchen. That's huge. And so some of these products will be able to help you maintain that functional independence in the kitchen. It might not look like what it was before, but this is functional independence, and functional independence leads to dignity. And that is what we're all about, is trying to make sure that people can maintain that dignity in their life.
Like your business name being adaptive and being to change, right?
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. We're going to start first. One of the big things that we always get is, oh, I can't open jars anymore. We have a very simple solution. And what I want to remind people is this. Everything won't work for everybody, but everybody deserves an option. So please remember, it may not work for you. It might work for you, but we're giving people options. Okay.
And everybody deserves it. It's not a cure all. It's certainly not.
So this is a jar opener, and there are many jar openers out there. So this has just happened to be one that we have tried. It comes with this little non-skid pad here in the back that you can sit down to set your jar on. And what this does is it actually has teeth right along this edge so that it allows you to open different size jars depending on how big the jar lid is. So let's take, for example, a peanut butter jar. What you're going to do, I put this on a non-skid pad. You just set this down on the peanut butter lid and you take them to wherever it's going to go down the chutes, what I'm going to call it. And then you're just able to turn. And the longer handle is going to give you that leverage that you need to get that jar open.
I think everybody needs that.
Oh, absolutely.
We have people without grip issues. Jars can be hard.
That's exactly right. Jars are very hard. So this is a very simple solution. We do want to tell everybody that what we've got here today, you can find on our website, whether it's up in the menu bar on the Amazon page, or if it's down at the bottom of our first page under some specialty items. But a lot of these things are just out there. You can find them at the big box stores and things like that as well.
And I think what you'll see, I think what you'll notice when we get into some more of the products is that the common theme here is the built up handle, because that helps with if you have pain during grip strength. If you build up the handle, it helps decrease that pain because it's bigger. It's a bigger grip. And you don't have this little pinching and this grabbing and contracting of your muscles that hurt your joints and stuff.
And a lot of times too, we try to lengthen. So we try to build up the handle and we try to lengthen the lever arm that you're moving with. So that is a jar opener. Do you want to show something over there?
Yeah. Okay. How about speaking of openers?
Yes.
We found this on Amazon. This is from Remedic. This is a medicine bottle opener. It's got this awesome magnifier on the top of it. So, because your prescription always has that teeny tiny writing on it, right? So you can actually put the magnifier up to the prescription label and it will magnify the words so you can see, make sure you're taking it right. And it also has an LED light in it. So it also lights up, not only does it magnify, but it will light up the label as well. So this is called the Remedic medication bottle opener. So you would put it on top like this. And again, see how big and built up this is? And this one has wings so that you don't have to do that smaller fine motor stuff. You put this on a lid here and just push down, twist, and the lid comes off inside of it even.
So you want some of those for some of the laundry soap things that where they have those things.
I get it.
Some of them you have to line up the arrow. What?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Exactly. Especially with this the childproof lids. Those are
I'm
really
all for keeping children safe, by the way. I get why, but you're right.
And for those people that maybe don't have kids at home anymore, you could talk to your pharmacist. They can give you the non-childproof lids so that it's not such a pain for you to open up. We've even had some of our viewers tell us that the little mechanism in the childproof lid, there's a way that you could take it off, or you could ask the pharmacist to take it off before you leave.
Some of those lids are reversible. Some of them you just turn over and they go up the other way, and they're not childproof anymore.
And ask before you get your medication. Yeah, when you're at the pharmacy, ask them to put that lid on there if it's appropriate for you.
Absolutely. All right. So speaking of continuing with openers, we all know that sometimes these tab cans come into our lives. Okay. So we have this little tab here, and these can be very difficult to actually, sometimes it's not as difficult to pop, but it's difficult to pull off of the can. So we've got this little thing here. This is called a J hook. Okay. And it's got a little opening right here that you actually slide under the tab. So it allows you to get the end of that tab, slide right under there. And then because of the long handle in this rocker bottom, it allows you to, the can may not hold up.
I'm going to need to eat that anyway.
I don't try another one. Hang on, we're going to do that.
Yeah.
So we're hoping that the cans are
That's helpful. This it is. So
let's try that again.
We can just rip the tab right off.
Let's just see if we can get this.
There we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. See, so how it rolls back and it just rolls that can lid right off the top. And you may want to put your hand on there, and this may go flying. So you may want to just be careful because it does really lessen what you have to do.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't know your own strength.
That's exactly right.
All right. And let's see what we're having for dinner this evening. Chicken and home style noodles.
There we go.
Perfect. All right. Christina, what do we have next?
It is lunchtime, so you might just want to have
we might just have
a cheese sandwich and soup or something.
That's right. The next thing I want to talk about is called the Easy Hold Universal Cuff, or it's a strap. And this was actually developed by a woman who has arthritis. She was cleaning out her horse barn and she was having a hard time hanging onto the broom because of her hand, because of her arthritis. So her prototype was she fashioned it out of duct tape. And so she put these handles on the broom. So instead of grabbing the broom, she was able to slip her hands in there and use more of a flat hand to sweep it. So what she did is she developed these. I'm going to take one off here just so you can see what they look like. I got the whole keychain full. So these are just silicone products They're made of food grade silicone. You could throw them in the dishwasher. They're dishwasher safe. In speech therapy, we help people with eating. Occupational therapy does the same thing. They help people with regain their skill for eating again. And so there are cups out there that are made out of leather or pleather, and they get all grimy and gross because they're with food and stuff. But you can't throw those in the dishwasher. With these, you can. So it's super nice for, especially if you're using them with kids and then get glue boards and stuff all over it again. You can just go ahead and throw it in the dishwasher and, they'll be ready for the next meal. What they've got in different sizes. They've got one that's big enough that will actually fit around a sippy cup. So then you can actually put a handle on a sippy cup. They've got all different sizes. This one fits on a toothbrush. Let's see if I can get out of the way there. Fits on a toothbrush. So then what you would do is you would slide your hand in here. I don't even have to have a grip to hang onto this toothbrush to brush my teeth. Okay. You want to show them spoon? And here's the spoon. So you can again flip this in your hand, over your hand like that. And then you could feed yourself. You don't even have to have a grip for that.
And if you're having difficulty with a small pinch grip, especially when with writing, you can actually attach one. This is actually a stylus, but it's also maybe a stylus and a pen. But you can actually attach that to your hand and use that to more of a gross motor writing style. But if you don't have that small, fine motor pinch, then this would be beneficial.
Yeah, or even with the stylus on the end. A lot of people with the computers and stuff, you could just put it on there and you could use use the stylus on the end and not even have to hold it with a grip. So
I would imagine like a lot of that is especially good for people with Parkinson's disease and stuff like that do not have that. So
that's exactly right.
Right.
Or arthritis even. Okay.
Yeah. So this is a little item, and it's similar to this. It's one of the things. This is 5-in-1. So this is a 5-in-1 tool that we found on Amazon, and we really had a good response to it because it does several things. I want to grab. I didn't get mine. Grab these out of the fridge real quick. What this tool does is it can open. It's to this J hook, and then it can open a carton or a can like that. But I want to show one of the things that I always have trouble with is this milk carton. So actually, it's got this little pull tab in here that's difficult to get off of there easily.
yeah, I'm
So
not a fan of those either.
Yeah, I actually use this to help me do that. And I'm going to put my hand over it because it may be
Go flying.
Yeah, go flying. So as you can see, this is peeling that off of there for me with not much effort on my part to get that off. And again, it may go flying, but at least it's off.
And now you got to find that balance to go pick it up off the floor.
That's exactly right.
What you got for that, women?
Yeah,
Our other show on mobility.
that's right. So it does that. We also realized we had somebody ask us about these type of plastic lids. They were having difficulty popping these types of, so this is a yogurt plastic lid on here. Found this helpful for that as well. So we've used it on a plastic container for Parmesan cheese, for yogurt, things like that.
Totally getting one of those.
Yep, hitting one of those lips right underneath the side of that and just twisting, and it pops it right off.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't right away, you just take it right around the edge and loosen that edge up rather than trying to get.
That's the problem with those is that most of the time you have to sit there and you get one up and then you have to go to the next section and just work your way around it. By the time you get all the way around it, it's gone back on itself again.
Exactly. And then the other thing this does is I say soda bottle or soda can opener. So what it does is it has a little slit right here in the end of it. And this will slide right underneath the tab of the soda can. You lift up. And there you have it. And actually, this is something new I'm trying. So go take a and
What is it?
It is Siva or Cedia grape.
Is it just bubbly water?
Yeah, it's kind of flavored bubbly water, but it doesn't have any real sugar. It's
Cedia.
Cedia. It's caffeine free. So I thought I'd try that. It's really good. Yeah, it is really good.
Now, so can that tool and that other tool, the one that was it the J hook? Could the J hook one, could that one be used to open that soda can?
Yes, it certainly can. Yep.
Okay.
Now it actually can. You could slide that under. It may be, this is just a little thicker. So sometimes those soda cans are really flush. The tab is really flush to So this is a little bit thicker, might be a little bit more difficult, but yeah, I do believe that it can do
Figured
that.
like people didn't want to have a ton of individual
Right.
single-use
Right.
gadgets that they could.
So just remember the 5-in-1 can actually, it's not quite as big as far as the rolling or the rocking, but this will do a soup can. I've done a soup can with this as well. So that can do that.
And
And
this
then,
is the more multi-purpose tool.
yeah. And it will open up a bottle. It'll take a bottle cap off as well. And then the other thing it says it will do, which it does, but it depends on the bottle, is opening a bottle.
Like
Now,
a 2-liter bottle of soda.
yeah, and that's through this little rubberized area here, but that's pretty limited as far as that. But the tool overall is very good. So
Yeah,
five
we
in
tried
one.
it on a water bottle, and that
Yeah.
water bottle plastic lid was a little too small. And then the 2-liter bottle lid is it's just about right, but you have to really push it on there. So yeah, it
Yep.
just depends on the bottle.
Yeah, so we do really like this tool.
Yep. All right. So I've got another product here. This is called the Key Wing or Key Wings. I'm going to get a little bit closer so you can see this because these are so tiny right there. So what you do is you open this up, you put your key inside, and it actually makes the surface of your key wider so that if you have difficulty with grip strength, you can have a longer surface or a wider surface to be able to lock and unlock the house or a car or whatever. In the car, they use fobs now anymore, so that's not so much of a problem. But your house key and stuff can still be an issue for that. So that's called the keyway. They usually come when you get them. They come in a little pack of 3.
Color coded. So if you have a little bit of sight issues going on, you can just figure out my house key is pink.
That's
Yep.
exactly
That's
right.
a good idea.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's a great
excellent
idea.
point.
Yeah.
Great idea. Absolutely. All right. So one thing I wanted to mention too, because these are all products and these are all great, but sometimes people are like, I don't want to get that, or what can I do? What else can I do?
Yeah.
A lot of times people have difficulty with silverware because silverware is tiny. And if you don't have that fine motor grip, if you have weakness, a lot of times you need, again, that built up surface.
Yeah.
So basically what we have done here, we just wanted to show you, is we've taken a spoon. And this is what I'm losing my insulation. Yes, insulation. We just got it at Ace Hardware. Took some pipe insulation, kind of slid in it, and put it around the spoon handle. And then this pink stuff is something that we love to use because it's a non-adhesive. It's not a sticky substance, but it actually adheres to itself. It's called Coban. We use it a lot in the medical field. But it just is elastic and it sticks to itself. So I use it a lot when I'm trying to secure something.
Everybody's got an animal. Sometimes what they'll do, you'll see that they'll give them a shot or something and they'll shave their little leg and then they'll use that Coban to keep the wrap. Or when you go get blood, they'll do the same thing. They'll wrap that Coban around your arm.
Yeah, but this is just showing you how to increase the circumference of a piece of silverware, just to help lessen the need for the amount of grip that it takes to hold this.
Yeah.
So that's what that is. So that's
like
what
that.
yeah.
Christina, just to on what you said, by the way, just a little PSA, if you guys do go give blood and they wrap that around your arm and they say leave it on for X amount of hours, don't underestimate that. Ask me how I know.
Just so make sure you take it off in a timely manner
Yeah.
and then save that Coban. Because it might come in handy I'll tell you what, this is like in a therapist's toolbox or any healthcare worker's toolbox. You always find this, take it, save it, put it in your little junk drawer. You never know when you might need something with a little extra grip that Coban will come
Like
in.
later in the day when you don't have band-aids in your first aid kit and your arm's bleeding and you're like,
Yes.
I used gauze and painter's tape.
I know.
So now you have no hair on your arm there. Do you?
My daughter was like, what are you doing? Because I called her and told her because we gave blood together. And I was like, hey, it worked. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
That's right. That's exactly right.
That's right. That's part of our what we always say is if you can't do it, adapt it, right?
That's exactly right.
Exactly.
So we had a viewer reach out to us because we were talking about trying to improve grip in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And we had initially talked about using rubberized garden gloves. You'd be amazed at how adding just a little bit of resistance to some of the things that you're doing, whether it's opening in a jar, opening something tiny, how much that will help when you're trying to do something as far as reducing that grip a little bit that you need. Just regular garden gloves are a great idea. But
Yes, we had a viewer, so we were talking about that, and then we had a viewer reach out and say that he and his wife, what they use are these dishwashing gloves,
What
like
I
those,
was thinking of. Yeah.
and they're not quite as thick as those gardening gloves. But then what he said that they do, so they don't have these these whole dishwashing gloves laid around, is they will cut out the thumb and the first two fingers. And then all they leave them laying around the kitchen. That's your pinching grip right there anyway.
Yeah.
So they just cut those out and then they've got it like laying next to wherever they want. So I'm like, and geez, people are so smart.
Yes.
That's cool.
They were talking about, some of our viewers were talking about using a little bit of extra grip to open the Ziploc bags and things like that. Just getting a hold of the edges of those sometimes can be difficult.
Yeah.
So
We're not having that. That's for real. That is for real. Yeah. As I've gotten older, I'm having to lick my fingers more to separate pages. And it's just, I think I'm losing my fingerprints. You never mix up like,
You have to stop licking your fingers. Didn't you learn from COVID?
yeah. It's adults you haven't thought of that either, because I worked in a nursing home and you do not lick anything after you get off work. You're not
We learned opening the bag. They need a better solution for opening those plastic bags in the grocery store, the produce department, because we
Yes.
used to lick our fingers to do that. Because for the meat department, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's not okay, folks.
yes.
It's not. And some of those little Ziploc baggies, we've had viewers ask about the Ziploc baggies and how to get that open, because even the grip for that can be difficult for that. We always tell them to get the slider Ziplocs that have the little slider on it.
Yeah.
So whenever you get in from the store, transfer it into one of those slider Ziploc baggies, because it's a lot easier to use to slide them than it is to have to peel them open and stuff. So
Right.
that's a nice little life hack as well.
Right.
What about the veggie bags that are on the roll that you tear off? Those can be
Oh,
hard.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I
I'm going to
know.
give you my little tip of what I always do in the produce section is I tear it off and then I go to wherever on the produce that has been just showered with a little shower water and I get my finger.
Yeah, I just that's what
Because
I
if
do.
you'll get these two in your thumb, then
Yeah.
usually if you get the top of it, you can do one of these
Yeah.
things to get it to separate. But you got to get your fingers
Just
wet.
touch the little shelf where after you just got done raining on it, just touch the little shelf, and that's
And
what
touch
I
the
like.
shelf. Don't go touching other fruit and
What's
vegetables.
Where you learn your
That's
don't
right.
touch them. Just touch the
Be
shelf.
considerate. Be considerate and kind.
Yes, exactly.
Please.
Exactly. So we talked about building a utensil up, but don't forget there are also built up utensils out there. Okay. Yeah, I'll talk about that. They're built up utensils. Again, it's got the bigger grip on it. So that helps. There's also, which we don't have with us right now today, but there are also weighted utensils for people with Parkinson's,
Or
things like
essential
that.
trimmers.
Yeah. Yeah. So there are weighted utensils out there as well.
To help decrease the tremor. It's not going to get rid of the tremor, but it can help decrease the tremor. Right.
Isn't there also some of those spoons? Let's talk about technology for a minute. Are there some of those spoons and forks that have that technology built into it that help balance that out and stop it?
Gyroscope in it. Yeah. Yes, they sure do. Those are still a little on the expensive side, but the price certainly is coming down. They haven't been out too long, but yeah, it is. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's a really great thing to be able to help people maintain their nutrition and stuff and keep more
And their own independence of being able to feed themselves, which is
exactly. And then dignity, 'cause that's what it all ends up being about, is dignity.
Absolutely. So I didn't grab my chip bag, but yeah, grabbed my chip bag. Quick for that.
okay.
We find out now. Again, everybody does their own thing. I know a lot of people end up using scissors to cut a bag like this because sometimes it's hard to open. We did find this little cute little thing. It's called the Viper. You want to take it up there so that they can see. It's got a really tiny razor blade in it. And it's set back into it. And you can use that to open a bag like this. What you do is you just take it. It takes just a little bit of pinch shut like that. So you put it over your bag and you pinch it shut and you zip it right across and it opens your bag for you.
Yeah. It's great for the freezer bags too. That steamer freezer bags. zip those right open. Those things are hard to open.
Yeah, they really are. They really are. So
One of those, because I'm always grabbing a knife and I'm like, one of these times I'm just going to cut my finger off doing this. I know it.
that's
So,
exactly
We
right.
get a lot of people too when we show stuff like this that are the same way, or like peeling off the soup can. Like, I just use a knife. That's awesome. If that works for you, that's great. But there are some people that can't hold that knife handle because it's too thin and it causes them pain. That's where some of these other products come in. If a knife works for you, awesome. Good for you. You got a whole drawer full of them. That's fantastic. But some people will cause them pain. It could cause that dislocation in the joint. And these are certainly options. They are not for everybody, but they give people options.
Very true.
I want to offer just something about, I know I'm injecting a lot, but
It's awesome.
honestly, if you're having any kind of mobility problems, use one of these devices that they're suggesting as far as like opening, especially opening cans. Because even if you're not having mobility issues within your hands, with arthritis and stuff like that, opening cans can be a dangerous game. I was 20 years old, 20. I didn't have my daughter yet. So I was like 22-ish or somewhere around there, and was babysitting for this family in the evenings, making some extra money. And I was opening a can and I couldn't quite get it. So I grabbed a fork and shoved it underneath there to pry it open, and it slipped. And you can imagine that that's why they have those can openers that cut around the outside rim things now, where it's cut free, because that lid sliced through my finger and almost cut the nerve that would have left my finger. I would have had to have major surgery instead of stitches. If I had done that, I was this close to getting that nerve, and I would have had to have major hand surgery because of that. Lots and lots of blood, very traumatized children that they had to come home and had to I had to go to the hospital and stuff. But the doctors were all like, you were so close to having so much more damage. Do not do that again.
Yeah.
So as we get older, that becomes even more of a problem, especially if you were to damage yourself doing that as well. So please don't just go buy whatever the cost, it's worth it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And most of this stuff here, Marianne, is $10 or less.
Yeah. Yeah. The
Like
majority of
the Zip, the Viper thing, you get like
six
six
of
of
them, I
them
think.
for $7.
Yeah. Yeah. So
And we're in August, and I know people are already planning for Christmas. So these would be great Christmas gifts to get everything that your loved one could possibly need and put it in a basket and be like, here, I bought you a mobility basket.
yes,
That's
right.
right.
Exactly.
And I'm glad you mentioned that because we do all of these products we've gotten off of Amazon, and we have an Amazon influencer page on there where it's a curated list of all the items that we have found on Amazon and that we've recommended. We made a quick little video about it. So if you want to go to our Amazon influencer page, we have them all listed here. They're broken down by room of the house, so kitchen, bedroom, bathroom. And we have a section in there for cognition, for car transfers. Just go check that out. And that's a great way to get your Christmas, start checking off some of your Christmas items. So
That's
So
exactly
for
right.
seniors, we don't know what to get them. They
Right.
have everything they could possibly need. Maybe they don't. Maybe they need some help in the kitchen to be able to keep their independence and their dignity doing some of this stuff. Even if they have a caregiver, I can't think of one senior that I know that wouldn't rather be doing something if they can do it.
Right.
absolutely. Again, it comes back to dignity, right? I
Mhm.
used to be able to do this. Maybe I didn't need this when I was 20. And it's okay that you need it now because guess what? It allows you to do it your own on yourself, by yourself. And it's functional independence, which gives you dignity. So
Absolutely.
why not?
Absolutely. One other thing that we wanted to show here that we had gotten a viewer, it's been some time
yeah.
ago, that said that a parent really loved these little cups, fruit cups.
Yeah.
And we all know how difficult these are to peel off. So what we tried to do is just come up with something that they could do at home, not having to, I haven't really found anything. We have a lot of people that just say, oh, just cut it with a knife.
Yeah.
But again, not everybody can just cut it with a knife.
Or should you?
That's right. That's right. What we ended up doing is we took a big round marker and we took a piece of tape. And basically, again, what we're trying to do is just leverage our strength. So we took this piece of tape and I took it and put it right up under the tag that's on the cup. Okay. And then I wrapped it around my marker, wrapping it tight right up to the cup seal. And then I just use the marker to roll back, just like this. And I'm just rolling that marker right back. Better watch my juice here. Right back off of the cup.
We should make those cups bigger so the juice wouldn't fill out when you
I
fill
know,
out.
or maybe not fill them quite
And
as
this is the
big.
same way, like with the yogurt containers that you get. Sometimes they'll have that seal on there as well,
Mhm.
where you can use that same technique. It's a light pack, Marianne. It's not for everybody, but it's, hey, it's something, right? And
Could
Right.
you tape it to that J hook?
I'm sorry.
Could you tape it to that J hook tool that you have?
If you even have to, you would have to,
I'd be afraid to squish that stuff and then get
yeah,
it out.
because the J hook is going to be setting on the plastic lid. And
Mhm.
because it's not like metal, it
Mhm.
will probably allow this to sink down in it.
That's-
Something that we can certainly try.
Sure. And that just allows that it keeps level with the fruit
Uh,
cup itself. And that way you can just roll it. You could use the strength from the plastic cup to help peel it off and stuff. But it's super, super easy.
And we encourage people all the time. If you have something that you're doing that works for you,
Mhm.
please reach out to us. We love
Yeah.
that stuff. We love to share that
Yeah.
stuff because we're all better together. So we encourage people to reach out.
100%. And then they will share it with us here at
And
community.online so we can share it with you as well. Um, people, I'm a firm believer that people that even do the same things, if there were other people of you, that there cannot be enough information out there for seniors regarding anything, whether it's information, whether it's technology, whether it's different resources within the community that is available to you. I don't think enough seniors use those as well or know about them. We're all collaborators in this world, right? Or at least we should be.
right.
That's
Very true.
exactly right. And sometimes we address caregivers a lot too. And sometimes caregivers are seniors, right? Maybe they have a spouse that they're caring for. But people, what we have found that there is a portion of caregivers that don't identify as caregivers. And so they don't even know to start looking for something because they're not even identifying as a caregiver. And the issue for what I think is the issue is if you don't identify as a caregiver and you're already caregiving, you just don't identify as a caregiver. Burnout in the caregiver world is real and it happens fast. And if you don't reach out for resources because you don't know you're a caregiver, you don't identify as a caregiver, that burnout is going to sneak up on you super fast. You know what? There's so many people out there that want to help seniors, that want to help caregivers, that want to help senior caregivers, that want to help people with disability. So many resources. It's just, yeah, don't be afraid to reach out. That would be my big message to everybody.
There's so many different councils of aging and different stuff that have these resources. The Hip Senior, my magazine, we're focused on providing some of those resources through our podcast and different stuff like that. I think we're going to create a resource page where people can list different resources within different communities that are available. Because if you think that because you are married to this person that needs care and therefore that's your sole responsibility, you cannot pour from an empty well, right? From an empty pitcher. You have to take care of yourself, get some respite care, get someone to come in and give you a break, just maybe so you can go grocery shopping or get out or go sit in the library for a few minutes and read a book.
Or
Yes.
hop on the Hip Senior app and
Hop on live community or even on their main page at thehipsenior.com. There's a book section now, which we added month and a half ago or so. We've got 125 books on there so far, all by different authors, some from Tipa Snow and different. And the books can be from about dementia, caregiving. I can't tell you, there's a number of those are caregiver guide that are on there. Speaking of caregiving, cancer, you name it, memoirs, stuff like that. So take some time to learn about the different resources in your area that can just, like I said, even if it's just giving you a break because you deserve it.
Yeah. And if you don't know who your area agency on aging is, you can go to eldercare.acl.gov, type in your city and state or the zip code, and it will tell you who your area agency on aging is. They are a wealth of information, and that is usually the first place we send our viewers to when they ask.
Yeah, that's their job. That's what they're there for. Don't think, oh, I'm bothering them. No, they want you to call. They're begging you to call.
funded. Yep.
or look on their website and get that information and then you know what? And when you get that information, share it with other people as well. Don't gatekeep. If you have friends that are caring for their husbands or relatives or different stuff, and then some even, guys, I learned recently that there's a lot of caregivers out there that are taking care of family members that could actually be getting paid to do.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
You have to check with your state.
Yep. And if you're not working because you're caregiving, that's a job.
Yeah.
You are working.
Yeah.
And a lot of times Medicare and stuff like that, in different like I said, what she said, depending on what your state is, you
Mhm.
be getting paid for doing that as a job. So again, finding those resources.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's exactly
Absolutely.
right.
All right. You guys got anything left for us to see?
I think we got. We're going to have some soup and maybe a soda and some yogurt for lunch.
And peaches.
Don't forget the peaches.
That's right.
All right, guys. I'll let you go so you can go enjoy your lunch. But thank you for spending some time with us here today at Live Community. And we will look forward to seeing you again.
Awesome. Thanks for having us.